Hey guys, it's Sabre and RB time. This is my first jet match in RB of the new patch, and I usually like playing the underdog, but I don't have a MiG-15, and apparently the MiG-15 is now the underdog of the jets. And we're gonna see, with the new G-lock added, it prevents the extremely unsustainable turns at high speed from happening. You can no longer do the 14G turns that the Sabre used to be able to do. And the MiG can no longer do the 12G turns it used to be able to do because the MiG ripped at a lower speed. It ended up actually hurt the Sabre more having G-lock than it hurt the MiG-15. Because the MiG-15 couldn't pull 14Gs anyway without ripping the wings. The thing is, did it really hurt the MiG less than it hurt the Sabre having G-lock? I know I'm descending, but I'd like to pick up some horizontal speed before I start my climb. So did it hurt the MiG or the Sabre more having G-lock? In my opinion, it hurt the MiG a lot more, because now that aircraft can't pull these super unsustainable turns anymore, the energy level drops off slower, so it's easier to hold on to energy. It's also a lot harder to throw away energy. A lot of you may have realized this by now going into dives. Even some of the prop planes, if you go into a dive, you can pick up so much speed. It reaches the point where you'll cut throttle. You'll drop your air brakes if you have them, and you still won't be able to bleed off the speed enough to regain maneuverability to get yourself out of the dive. Which happens, it doesn't happen as bad with the jets because the jets have these ridiculous air brakes. And if you pop those air brakes in a straight down dive, you're probably going to end up losing a bit of speed. And I'm not actually going to climb anywhere near as much as I usually do. I'm only going to climb to about 3,000 meters and stop there. They've fixed the high altitude performance of some of the aircraft. The Sabre no longer turns to shit as badly as it used to at high altitude, but relative to the MiG-15, which I'm pretty sure we're fighting, it's still quite poor at altitude. So just stay low. If they don't want to come down, fine. Start attacking ground targets and just diddle around. Wait for them to come down. Do not try and fight them at high altitude. It's simply not going to work. And I know a lot of YouTubers that have been flying MiG-15s have said the exact same thing about the MiG-15, but in reverse. That when you're in the MiG, you should climb to high altitude and just never go down low, force the Sabres to come up after you. The only thing is, the Sabre can carry a much bigger bomb load than the MiG-15. So, you know, it might not be the worst idea to actually load bombs and start killing ground targets and get the... Oh my god, this roll rate. Get the MiGs to come down after you, because you can fight them at higher altitudes, but I would highly not recommend it. And the Sabre, near sea level, is capable of some amazing high speed agility. And it's a lot harder for the Sabre to reach that high speed, and it's much less sustainable at higher altitudes. So basically, my opinion, the easiest way to beat a MiG in the Sabre now is to get the MiG to low altitude. It doesn't matter who has the energy advantage, as long as you're extremely fast. And then just do a 6G level turn at sea level above 600 miles per hour. You shouldn't be losing any speed as long as you're careful not to gain any altitude. And then you can just do the 600 mile per hour 6G turn indefinitely. And a MiG can't follow you in it without losing a huge amount of speed. If a MiG tries to dive in faster than you, they aren't going to be able to turn with you because they're going faster. So they'd have to pull more than 6Gs to stay with you, and they can't do that, just like you can't for any significant length of time either. So they're either going to overshoot or they're going to slow down to get in trail. If they slow down to get in trail, they will be able to pull lead, but only if they slow down. And if they slow down, then you can just level off and outrun them. Wait until there's some distance between you and then start your level turn again. And eventually they'll wear themselves out of energy, and then you can pitch into a vertical fight. And because the Sabre now has its proper vertical energy retention, the heavier aircraft at higher speeds has the best vertical energy retention, which in this case is the Sabre. So as long as you're going vertical off of momentum rather than climb rate, which means at high speed, the Sabre will beat the MiG now, which has pissed off a lot of MiG-15 pilots because they were under the impression that the MiG-15 was the best vertical maneuvering aircraft in the world ever. Actually, the MiG-19 is probably the best vertical fighting plane in the world. Even by modern jet standards, that thing is ridiculous. But MiG-19's not in the game. All you got's the 15, and above about 500 miles per hour, the Sabre has superior vertical energy retention, even in turns. So as long as you stay over 500 indicated, which I'm very quickly getting right up to, the Sabre should, I'm not going to say untouchable, but it should be ridiculously hard for the MiG to do anything. And be very careful with your high-speed turns, not because you don't want to rip your wings, because you pretty much can't rip your wings anymore. You can, but you really have to work at it. The real reason you should be careful is because see all the speed I bled off? I was doing 500 indicated, I'm doing 430. Because I'm under 500 indicated, I'm now vulnerable to a MiG-15. To some extent, I have enough altitude, I can pick up my airspeed no problem. But trust me, just stay fast. Stay as fast as you possibly can. Let the straight wing jets do any high altitude work if they really feel the need to. So where is everyone? Almost all the AI is dead, and AI means nothing at this tier. Although I have been shot down by AI in my Sabre before, it involved a lot of stupidity on my part. So as long as you're not a complete and total mentally challenged silly person, you should be fine. And I'm starting to get high enough that I can't stay over 500 indicated without pretty much not climbing. I'm pretty much reached, I can't climb at 500 indicated. 500 indicated is pretty much my top speed at this altitude. And so I probably shouldn't be climbing anymore. So I'm going to say 4K. The Sabre is pretty much the exact opposite of all of the other American planes. Usually the American aircraft drastically outperform their counterparts at high altitude. The one counterexample I can think of other than a MiG-15 is the Ta-152. The two best high altitude planes in the game in descending order are the MiG-15 is the best, the Ta-152 is the second best, then all the rest of the jets, and then the American props, and then all of the rest of the props in the game. There are some jets, I guess, like the Vampire doesn't do well at high altitude either, but Vampire more or less just doesn't do well. Hey, there he is. See how high he is? Don't go up, guys. Make him come down. Gonna get a gentle descent. He's probably waiting for me to zoom climb at him, but I'm just not. Got two MiGs now. Is he gonna dive on me? I'd zoom climb at him, but there's three of them. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna let my teammates do whatever the hell they want to do while I go after this MiG-9. We're gonna zoom climb now. I have plenty of speed. He's not gonna be able to do anything. Then we're gonna just loop onto his tail super gently. I want to maintain what energy I can. Nah, yeah, screw it. 6G turn. Let's go. Hard dive. Want to catch him quickly before those other MiGs get here. Here, Miggies. Yeah, basically just draw the MiGs to low altitude and you'll just win. See how this MiG-9's outrunning me? Not for long. You know what? Fuck it. This is going to take me a while to get my nose up from all the speed I have, but I'm going to, and I think I have the momentum to catch him. I do have the momentum to catch him. So does he oh wow. So I'm going to level off and let him derp after him. And we're too slow. We are way too slow to effectively fight a MiG. So I'm thinking I'm going to go after the MiG-9 again and leave this guy to his fate, trying to fight a MiG at low speed at high altitude. Neither of those things work well. So that MiG actually did something really smart, even though he can out-zoom us. He's dragging us to low speed and high altitude, both of which the MiG drastically outperforms us. And I just went to dodge his attack, worked just fine if he was even coming at me. It looked like he was just considering it. Now he's dragging the A back up. Again, I'm not even going to bother. Well, is he one of the last left? He is one of the last left. Yeah. So I think the Russians might actually be outmatched. Maybe they should give the MiG its wet back, even if it's historically inaccurate, just in the interest of making it a little more competitive. Either that or all the good MiG-15 peoples like her Ronin just up and left. He does outclimb us, though. He still definitely outclimbs us. There's no question about that at all. I'm going to take... I think I'm too slow to effectively engage him, really. But I believe... Up. Pulling off. I'm fine with diving. I'm really happy with diving, actually. And that's really it. Whenever you're fighting a MiG-15, if you find yourself in any kind of trouble, just dive. You don't actually have to worry too much about maintaining your energy level until you get to low altitude. But don't worry, you'll end up at low altitude quick enough. These guys just got raped. I didn't do anything. Wow. That Bearcat has 2 air kills. I imagine one they're probably AI, but you know, he might have gotten a jet. It's possible. It's that guy that's left there. Still 2 of them alive. I'm gonna head towards their airfield. Up. Hey. You know what? Fuck you, Soji. Is that MiG coming towards me? He's coming towards someone. Looks like he's getting closer. Well, he was. Go away, Soji. Nobody loves you anymore. I'm gonna see if I can sneak it. But I'm gonna be very careful not to get in the way of my teammates. I've done a much better job of maintaining energy than they have. I'm an asshole and I know it. So don't do what I just did. Did the MiG just bail out? I wouldn't blame him if he did. Don't worry, I would not be pissed if he bailed. Look at all this speed I have. With how fast I'm coming in, it's not going to take him a large amount of maneuvering to make me overshoot. But with that said, when I overshoot, I'm going to end up several kilometers above him, so I'm not really in threat, even if it's a dangerous overshoot, meaning even if I pass right in front of his guns as I overshoot, he'd need to have quite a good reaction time to get me. That Panther looks like he's coming this way, so I'm going to have to make this one quick if I want it to be mine. I don't care how far I've chased him, if this guy wants to preserve his dignity by bailing out rather than getting shot down. I mean, I understand the message. They've unbalanced these jets just a little bit. I'm going to do that trick I usually do. Going to come right up underneath him, then zoom climb up. Oops. Oopsie daisy. Oops. Oh, I'm such an asshole. Alright, well, I got 2. One of them was clearly a steal, but again, there were 3 people trying to kill one guy. All of them were trying to kill steal it. And all of them are mad at me because I'm the one that was successful at stealing it. Oh, well, and I almost rammed that one guy in kill stealing it, so that was definitely not, don't do what I did. Don't do either of the 2 things I did. So, and also, remember, when you kill your enemy, they don't just disappear. They're still there. They're still fully capable of colliding with them. Alright, 2 and 1. Not as good as 2 and 0, but I got 2. The jet games have gotten quite competitive, and I got 2. Aren't I the greatest, even if I'm an asshole? Don't kill steal. Don't do it. Don't kill steal. Bad. Bad, Mr. Sabre. You little kill stealer. Even though this guy didn't. This guy even get a kill. Am I calling somebody who didn't get a kill stealer? Yep, I am. Alright, well I'm sorry you didn't get any. You're great. You're the best player ever. This guy's amazing. I'm not though, I'm an asshole. I'm a terrible, terrible asshole. And you, whoever's watching this video, don't do it. Don't kill steal. It's terrible. It's bad. It's not cool. So the game's gonna end here in a minute, right? One of those Panthers. Switch to the Panthers view. America. Dun 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 dun. Hey! You got him! You and your jet making its crackly sounds. Sorry this is taking so long, but this game's not really known for being quick anymore. Marines! Forward unto that way. Da, 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 na, 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 na. Something, 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 blah, 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Hey! Hey! Holy crap! It's not gonna take me long to unlock the F2 at this rate, even though I'm never gonna be able to afford it with all the planes I still haven't bought yet. Purchased yet, bought. I'm dumb. So here you go, kill, stealing, and ramming in jets. It's still possible. Ramming at jet speeds. Some people said it was impossible. It turns out it's actually quite easy still. So I'm not willing to say the MiG-15's underpowered yet, and I'm not willing to say the Sabre's overpowered. Because the Sabre isn't overpowered. The Sabre's right about where it should be now. The only question is the MiG underpowered or not? And I don't own one. And I've only fought them once now, so I can't really say yet, but it's not looking good. it's just not looking good. If me, with my lack of ability, my ridiculously few jet games, and I was able to get 2 kills. One of them was on a MiG-9 and one of them was a steal, but still. Alright. Definitely can't say this isn't a good plane. It's, at the very least, it's competitive now. No more MiGs always being above you. Well, they are still always above you, but it doesn't matter. Just wait for them to come down. There are plenty of things you can do when they come down after you. That's the fun thing about being faster. Yay, faster. The ultimate zoom fighter. I've been rambling for far too long. Bye, everyone.